Have you ever successfully stopped a repeat marketing or scam phone call? How did you do it? Got a call from the Social Security Administration. I asked for the company's address and he paused and then said New York, America. Big brain time. I took a call from the I hear you've had an accident that wasn't your fault call that I get about once a week. It's automated at first, but as soon as I said yes I got put through to someone. I spent 20 minutes explaining how someone reared into my lane and crashed into me and it wasn't my fault. At the end when they asked me for details of the damage I explained that they bent the handlebars a bit but the bicycle was mostly okay. They hung up on me and I haven't back from them for about a month. Hello. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Telemarketing Fraud Department. How may I help you? Click. Yep, got a call from the duct cleaning people. I told them I don't have ducts. I have geese. They just hung up on me and haven't bothered me since. Told them that I was a member of their branch a floor above them and that they misdialed. They said frick you and hung up. Didn't get a call back from them for a few months. Oh man, this is great. I think I'm going to finally start picking up for these bastards and take my own spin on this. Let them go through whatever little spiel they have, add in a little giggle here and there, and finally just start laughing and tell them it's James or Cindy down the hall and ask them out for a date. The thing that gets them is wasting their time. They are getting paid to make calls, so the longer you keep them on the better. One thing I like to do is start a rambling story that goes nowhere like Grandpa Simpson does on The Simpsons. You know, survey? Yes, I've taken some surveys in my time. Why? I even worked on one. Now I think it was in 06. Or was it 07? No, it must have been 06 because that was the winter I crashed my Buick. God, I miss that old car. It was such a beautiful shade of green like the jungle. Now, I've been to the jungle and boy do they have mosquitoes. I asked them for their social security and they hung up on me. Whack. I'm sure another scammer will call again since it's just an act that all of them do. But I got a social security scam call. They told me they had found 22 pounds of C in a Toyota Camry with some blood in the front seat because they always say that exact line. I responded, oh my god, that's terrible. So are you telling me that this was not you who left the car there? No, that was me, but I had 30 pounds of C in that car. Are you telling me that 8 pounds just went missing? So he was very confused and I was accusing him of stealing it. Then he started swearing at me until he hung up. Last call I had was the standard. You've been in a car accident. Had a little chat with them but they hung up once I told them I'd been decapitated in the crash. This guy keeps calling me telling me there is a warrant out for my arrest and the cops are looking for me. Cool. I'm like, what town do I live in? What town do you live in? Guy gets pee and hangs up. Crap, you not. He calls me back in a week. I'm like, OMG, it's you again? Did you figure out what town I live in yet? Says he freaking hates me and hangs up. Never got another call. I tried to troll a guy who was clearly calling people to get their bank account information by saying they were giving away money to help college students. He was from India and was dedicated to his job. I tried to pee him off for about 30 minutes but he kept interrupting me and I eventually told him to frick off and hung up the phone. He kept cutting me off saying, but my friend. Made a fuck you bloody freaking guy. I got a call, started reeling off this massive script. Finished probably after 2 minutes of solid talking, and I politely sat through the whole thing. I paused and said, sorry, she said again and started the whole script again from the start. Another 2 minutes solid talk wall later, I said, sorry. This time, there was a bit of frustration in her voice. Again and once again did the whole 2 minutes again. Aggressively this time. Sorry, frick this, and the call ended. Just play dumb and eat up their time. They are playing a numbers game and don't want to spend 30 minutes with some good that gives them nothing. In that 30 they would rather get shot down 20 times and maybe find that old lady they can trick. Twitch streamer Kit Boga currently has a personal record of 16 hours on the phone over the past week or so with a single caller and his co-workers. I unplugged the landline. It was either that crap or my father-in-law, so win-win. You should have unplugged the father-in-law. Answer the phone, connect to an agent, mute your phone and carry on with what you were doing. They quickly take you off their dialers when you waste their agent's time. I'm mostly the same. but I've stepped it up. Answer, connect, mute the same, but when a person picks up and starts speaking I rapid fire press numbers on my keypad until they hang up. My favorite response to it has been, "Beautiful song sir, we won't call again." They called again. My friend speaks English, Spanish and Russian. He would just start randomly switching between languages, and each language had a different personality. He would confuse them into total submission. They rarely called back. I worked in a restaurant that was definitely not called J. Alexander's. At said restaurant you got 3 table sections, and I had a co-worker that would use a different accent at each table. Table 1 was Australian. Table 2 was German and table 21 was Indian. Once a table got up, the new table got a new accent. It was his mental game to keep the accent straight for the whole shift. Every table. Got a call that there was a virus on my computer. Told them that was impossible as I threw my computer into the river so the cops couldn't get any evidence on me. Haven't heard from them since. The phone scam that puts you through to someone who says you have been in an accident no longer calls me because I just keep telling them an elephant ran out in front of my car and it was a hit and run, didn't get the plate. About once or twice a week I would get the Microsoft support phone call. For about 3 weeks, I would hang up on them. After about a month of this, I decided to jack with them. I let them give their line about how my computer is sending them error. Blah, 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 blah. I kept responding with, interesting, okay, fascinating, etc. When they said that they wanted to connect to my computer, I told them that this would be difficult. They asked why. I told them that they called the server room for the Pentagon. I do not think I have ever heard anyone hang up quicker. Would receive a specific one 9 times out of 10. Your car warranty is about to expire. Press 1 if you'd like to be connected to a representative. So I would oblige, wait for someone to come on the line and say make, model and year of your vehicle, which I usually followed up with 2013 Hasbro ATV or 2017 Little Tikes tricycle or something of that nature. I must have become a famous caller because they only called maybe 6 times after I started doing that, and they always started with "oh look who it is." Eventually, it just stopped. I assume it's because they were tired of wasting their time on someone who was wasting their time. I get a call from a random pharmaceutical company saying that my supply of Viagra is ready for pickup. I told him that I had a complaint regarding the Viagra. I said that I only took half a pill and now only half of my PP was hard. Now my base is hard but the tip was soft and I was pee. I kept going on this Viagra rant for about a minute or so and then they hang up. Happened twice and my friends are still laughing. Half my PP was hard. Holy crap, that's gold, OMG. After I had my first child, I kept getting calls about how the netting they used for my hernia surgery was being recalled and that I could get a lot of money if I took the time to talk them. I told them that I have never had that surgery and that it must be a mistake. They asked if I was in the hospital on blank day. I said, yes, but because I had a baby, not because I had any surgery. It looks like their records are mistaken and to please take me off the list. I thought that was that. I got a phone call 3x a week for months, having the same exact conversation each time. I would say, take me off this list right now and I want to speak to your manager. They would hang up. I could tell IT was the same guy. Finally, after almost a year of this crap, I was sitting in the car waiting for an appointment. I was pretty early and had a lot of time to kill. They call me again. I tell them, you have made a mistake. Take me off this list and I want to talk to whoever is in charge. He hung up. I realized that I actually had their number in my phone. So I called him. I have your number now. I am not going to stop calling until you let me talk to your manager. Him. Mom, please do not call this phone again, as this is my personal cell phone. Oh man. It was so on when he told me this. I repeated to call his number over 20 times. Each time he answered I said the same thing. I have your number now. I am not going to stop calling until you let me talk to your manager or take me off this list for real. At one point he even said I was mistaken and he knows I had hernia surgery. After what felt like the millionth call, women answered, why do you keep harassing one of my employees? I have told your employee that he has the wrong person and to take me off this list. He refuses to believe me and has been calling me 3x a week for the past 8 months. Mom, he is calling you because you are on our list and he can help you. Pretty much saying the same crap the other guy was saying, but with a really crappy attitude. Like it's me who is the butthole here. Me. I have his number now, and if you want me to stop, you need to take me off this list and never call again. If you do not, I will call him every minute I have a chance. I spend a lot of time in my car waiting for clients to meet me, so you guys will be hearing from me a lot. Long pause. Alright mom, I took you off the list. Please don't call here again. Click. They never called again. Sorry for my grammar and spelling on my cell phone. Saying something like, hello there, you are speaking with a sales representative from Pleasure.com. What kind of sex toys do you want to order? Really scream it at them BTW. It always works for me. Welcome to Jim's W house. You got the dough, we got the hoe. I always just say Bill's orphanage. You make M, we take M. They usually don't call back after that. You conceive M, we retrieve M. I answer the phone as Detective so and so. Then I ask them who they are and why they called the number in a very stern and cop-like manner. Then I ask them where they are and act like I am giving the information to someone else who is contacting Interpol. I ask a few more questions about their relationship to the number and advise anyone who has not already hung up that they are to stay put and wait for Interpol to arrive for interrogations. Stopped calls to my classroom. I screamed for a solid 30 seconds. Whenever they intro with this is so and so on a recorded line, I always politely say I do not consent to being recorded or monitored, or something along those lines. It's always fun how flustered they get and not sure of what to do. They usually hang up and don't call back again. I don't even know if they need my consent to record me, but it seems to work. Depends on what state you're in. Answer the phone with Ghostbusters what they want and get increasingly exasperated when they don't have a legitimate paranormal issue. Helps to loudly snack gum. If I knew Ghostbusters better, I'd probably try this next time a scammer calls my number. This is pretty hilarious. If it's a human on the line, I tell them that the person they are looking for had just died. One time I actually had a telemarketer call asking for my grandfather, who's been dead for almost 25 years. Not me, but my grandma. After grandpa died, she started getting phone calls in the evening from an insurance agent trying to sell her insurance for her husband. She's very polite, but she always says no thank you before she hangs up the phone. This goes on for almost a week. Grandma is really beside herself about these calls, and she tells my mom how upset she is with this man. One evening, I guess the guy was really impatient with her, and before grandma could say no thank you, the agent asked her, "But mom, you need your husband to be covered. Don't you care if he's covered?" To which she promptly replied, "He is covered, with 6 feet of dirt. Is that enough coverage for you?" The man hung up on her and didn't call again. Grandma really was a nice lady, and she was embarrassed that she lost her temper with that guy. My sisters and loved that story. My gran would get calls from companies about her dead husband's bills. She would get snarky with them and give them the number and address of the cemetery where he's buried at. Your city name here, fraud department. How can I help you today? I always answer scam calls and try to get to a person. Then I talk really softly so they turn up their headset. After a while I scream the highest pitched scream I can or play the video on YouTube. High pitched noise. Hello, we like to offer you a free trip to Las Vegas. Sir, are you aware that you just called the emergency line of a Department of Energy research facility? We need to keep this line clear. You will add us to your do no call list. If I receive another call from your company I will report this upstairs. Click. It helps that I'm not lying. Well, I will be using that at some point and will be lying. I kept answering with the same fake business name and slogan. It took a few calls, but they didn't want to chat with Slavinsky's taxidermy service. Whether it's Buggy or Bear will stuff it with care. Anymore. Went from 3 calls a day to not hearing from them in 5 months. I had this problem for a month on a landline before I could figure out how to block it. The guy was harassing me and constantly calling me back just so he can access my computer. It got to the point that he would call back right after I hanged up. I finally looked up how to block a number on a landline in the phone book, bought a safety whistle, then blew the whistle in their eardrums before blocking the number. Dude, that's freaking genius. I managed to stop the Indian Microsoft customer service scammers from calling me. The calls were getting pretty bad earlier this year. Probably 4 a day from the same people, usually the same person. I finally got tired of it and decided that I was going to mess with them. So the next time they called, I told them that I had all Apple products. Well, what do you know? A few minutes after we hung up, Apple customer service called to tell me that my computer had a virus. Cue my response. Apple? Why is Apple calling me? I only use Windows products. The guy cursed at me and hung up. This little charade went on for a few days, with him getting angrier and angrier each time. He said he was going to cut off my face and wear it one time. I told him that I would feel pretty sorry if he did, because then he would be even uglier than he is now. That was the last I heard from that particular guy, as they switched over to having a woman call me after that, though I could clearly hear him ranting about me in the background during one phone call. I kind of feel sorry for the woman, because I had hatched a master plan to get the calls to stop, and she just so happened to have drawn the short straw to call my house that day. Hello, this is Microsoft customer support. Mom, I am calling you today to tell you that your computer has a virus. Double quote. Me, computer? I don't own a computer. Double quote. Oh, I am sorry, not your computer, your tablet. Me, I don't own one of those either. Double quote. Well, how do you get on the internet? Me, the internet? Why would I want to get on the internet? We don't allow any of the devil's technology in this house. The internet is a tool of Satan. I refuse to use it. I will not touch any piece of technology that can access it. How dare you imply that I would fill my life with sin by having a computer? I rebuke that idea. I then ranted about technology being of the devil for several minutes, offered to perform an exorcism for her to rid her of the technological demons she'd opened herself to, even pretended to speak in tongues at one point. At first she kept trying to interrupt me and continue on with her spiel, but I didn't really let her. By the end she was speechless. She managed to stutter an apology and hung up, and I haven't been bothered by either Microsoft or Apple customer support in probably 6 months. He said he was going to cut off my face and wear it one time. I told him that I would feel pretty sorry if he did, because then he would be even uglier than he is now. I am deceased with laughter. Pass it the 3-year-old. I told him that I am a Jehovah's Witness and want to talk about the Lord our Savior. After 5 seconds he hung up and I never heard of that company again. I'm a web developer. Whenever I get a call from one of those Windows virus scams, I ask for their website to, assure myself that they're a legit company and everything. I then run their site through SEO and HTML error scanners. Of course they always come up with loads of errors, and so I offer them my services to help fix them. For a price, of course. Hit them with that reverse card. When I can be bothered, I like to waste their time. Microsoft scammer. I put on the little old lady act, not understanding their instructions and insisting they help me with my problem of a broken integral coffee cup holder disk drive. When they are at breaking point, I tell them that it says Linux on my comp. Is it the same as Microsoft? That finishes them off. Occasionally I get a call from legal companies. We call them ambulance chasers in the UK, who, if you've had an accident, they want to sue the other side for a big cut of the award. I describe how dreadful the accident was, blah blah, to get them excited. Then when they ask if they can sue on my behalf, I say unfortunately not, because I died in the accident. Lots of swear words and crashing down of phone follows, but they don't call back. If I'm not in the mood, I just tell them to frick off and die and put down the phone. Got the scam call about cancelling my social security number. Indian guy trying to scare me about my SSN being cancelled and all these crimes I'm accused of. Asked which crimes? He said drug dealing and money laundering. So I say holy crap man, what do I do? He says he needs me to verify my SSN to him. So I asked him, hey, didn't you say you were with the Social Security Administration office? He says yes, and that if I didn't do this fast the police would be on the way to arrest me. I told him you'll never take me alive. Get ready em. I'm taking a ton of you with me. He couldn't hang up fast enough. Haven't been bothered since. This is Kevin from Microsoft. No crap. I work at Microsoft too. Where do you sit? Let me send you a message. I somehow wound up on a call lost to be included on a telephone town hall for my state senator. I called 3 local offices demanding to be taken off the list. To no avail, despite promises. I finally filed an FTC complaint with dates and times of incoming calls as well as dates, times, and names of people I spoke to trying to get off the list. Apparently once you file an FTC complaint about a government official, they take it seriously. The campaign never called back. No, I didn't vote for him. My favorite that I've seen was when a guy spent 30 minutes talking on the phone with a guy and then asked him, does your mother know what you do for a living? I'm sorry, does your mother know that you spend your time every day trying to scam innocent people? I'm sorry sir, I don't know what you're talking about. Yes you do. You've just wasted 30 minutes of both our time trying to take my money. Your mother would be ashamed of you. Click. You have been visited by the IT lizard. Upvote or experience bad internet for a month. Like and subscribe you magnificent person.